Why do we keep coming back to the secret life of Walter Mitty in 2026? Maybe it's because we're living in the mind-numbing age of the endless scroll, where any adventure happens in our phones rather than our footsteps. Maybe it's because Ben Stiller's 2013 film feels like a message that has been beautifully stuffed inside a celluloid bottle and then cast into the ocean of life from a simpler time. A time before the world got so heavy, so complicated, so bloody angry, and so uncertain. In 2026, we're doom-scrolling through wars and climate disasters, through political chaos and economic anxiety. We're planning our lives in careful increments, building upon safety nets. And then, if you are nostalgic, you can thump the rewind button and Walter Mitty appears on our screens, reminding us that the world is still out there, still beautiful, still waiting, and that the most dangerous thing we can do is nothing at all. This film isn't just about a man who stops daydreaming and starts living. It's about all of us, frozen in our cubicles of comfort, waiting for permission to be brave, waiting for us to shake off our numbness, hold our breath, and take some action. So let's dive into this modern classic, because if there was ever a time we needed Walter's story, it's right now. Walter Mitty works in the basement of Life magazine as a negative assets manager. His job? To develop and catalog photographs that tell stories of adventure, courage, and discovery around the world. The irony? Walter has never had an adventure of his own. He lives a quiet, contained life in New York City, riding the subway, managing his aging mother's finances, and nursing a long-distance crush on a co-worker named Cheryl Melhoff. But Walter has a secret life. When reality gets too mundane, he drifts into elaborate daydreams where he's a hero, saving Cheryl from a burning building, fighting his arrogant boss Ted Hendricks, leaping from exploding structures. These fantasies are his escape valve, the pressure release for a life that feels too small for the person he wants to be. Then, his life gets the upheaval that we have all experienced and everything changes. Life magazine is shutting down. They're moving to online only, and the final print issue needs to be perfect. The cover image has been chosen by legendary photojournalist Sean O'Connell. Shot number 25 from a recent contact sheet. There's just one problem. Negative 25 is missing. Sean, played with mystical zen-like cool by Sean Penn, is somewhere in the world, unreachable by phone or email. He's the kind of photographer who disappears into remote corners of the planet for months at a time. Walter realizes that if he wants to find the missing negative and save the final issue, he'll have to do something completely out of character. He'll have to find Sean O'Connell. Walter's journey begins with a clue from Sean's contact sheet, a photo taken in Greenland. Armed with nothing but determination and a wallet given to him by Cheryl, Walter boards a plane. This is his first act of courage, his first step beyond the comfortable prison of his mundane routine. In Greenland, he meets a drunken helicopter pilot who refuses to fly in bad weather. But when Walter spots Sean's ship in the distance, he doesn't hesitate. He jumps into freezing Arctic water and swims to the boat, nearly getting eaten by sharks in the process. This isn't a daydream anymore. Hell, this is real fear, real danger, real life. But Sean has already left. The crew tells Walter he's headed to Iceland. Iceland becomes the film's visual centerpiece that is bookended with a crescendo of uplifting songs that help to pump the blood and energize the experiences. Walter learns that Sean is embedded with scientists studying a volcanic eruption. To reach him, Walter has to traverse stunning, impossible landscapes. He longboards down winding mountain highways with a kind local who gifts him the board. He runs from a volcanic eruption. He hitchhikes, climbs, and pushes through exhaustion. At a bar in a tiny Icelandic town, Walter calls Cheryl back in New York. She's been following his journey through the photos he's been sending, and something shifts between them. He's becoming the person he always imagined being, and she's noticing. When Walter finally reaches the research camp, Sean has moved on again, this time to the Himalayas, pursuing the elusive snow leopard. The final leg of Walter's quest takes him to Afghanistan and then Nepal, into the thin air and brutal beauty of the Himalayas. He scales mountains, his body pushed beyond any limit he thought possible. This isn't about the negative anymore. This is about proving to himself that he's more than his fears. He finds Sean perched on a cliff, camera ready, waiting with infinite patience for the snow leopard to appear. And here, the film delivers one of its most profound moments. Walter asks Sean when he's going to take the picture. Sean responds with perfect simplicity.
Sometimes I don't. If I like a moment, me, personally, I don't like to have the distraction of the camera. I just want to stay in it.
When the magnificent snow leopard finally appears, Sean doesn't take the shot. He just watches, present in the moment, teaching Walter the ultimate lesson, that life isn't about capturing moments for later. It's about being fully alive right now. Walter asks about -25, and Sean tells him it's the quintessence of Walter's work at life, the best shot he ever took. It's on the camera he sent to Walter in New York. Walter returns home transformed. He's leaner, bearded, weathered by experience. But Life magazine has been dismantled. The corporate vultures have taken over, and Ted Hendricks has thrown away all of Walter's belongings, including the camera with -25. Walter tracks down his belongings to the recycling plant and recovers the camera. When he finally develops -25, he finds a photo of himself at Life magazine, hunched over his desk with a contact sheet, completely absorbed in his work. Sean's inscription reads,
Beautiful things don't ask for attention.
The final issue of Life magazine hits the stands with -25 as the cover. Walter stands at a newsstand with Cheryl, looking at this image of himself, a portrait of dedication, of quiet heroism, of a life fully lived even in the smallest moments. The message is clear. Walter was never just a daydreamer in a basement. He was always the hero of his own story. He just needed to believe it. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is a love letter to travel, to the kind of wandering that transforms you. It reminds us that the world is vast and strange and beautiful, and that we're meant to move through it, not just observe it through screens. But here we are in 2026, and that world feels increasingly fragile. We're watching territorial conflicts escalate. We're hearing the drumbeats of potential global conflict growing louder. Travel advisories multiply. Safe corridors shrink. The wanderlust that once felt like a luxury now feels like a race against time. Remember when we thought 2020 would be a brief pause? When we believed borders would reopen and stay open, that the world would return to the way it was? We learned the hard way that access to this planet is not guaranteed, that the freedom to board a plane and disappear into Iceland or Nepal or anywhere else is a privilege that can vanish overnight if we are not careful. Walter Mitty's journey wasn't just about finding a photograph, it was about refusing to wait for the perfect moment. As Sean O'Connell tells him early in the film, reflecting on his mother's advice, to see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls, draw closer, to find each other, and to feel. That is the purpose of life. That quote, taken from Life magazine's actual motto, isn't just beautiful words, it's a call to action. Because the alternative is a life of deferred dreams and perpetual preparation. Always getting ready to live instead of actually living. A life of maybe one day, or when the time is right, or when I have this, get that, finalize this. We tell ourselves we'll travel when we have more money, more time, more stability. When the kids are older. When work settles down. When the world is safer. But what if safer never comes? What if this moment right now, uncertain and imperfect as it is the moment we're going to get? Sean's wisdom on that Himalayan cliff about staying in the moment, about not letting the camera distract from the experience, that hits differently now. We've become a civilization of documentarians, so busy capturing content that we forget to actually live. Instagram stories have replaced real stories. We scroll through other people's adventures while our own lives wait in airplane mode. But here's the thing that Walter Mitty understands by the end of his journey. Adventure doesn't require a volcano or a snow leopard. It just requires saying yes to the scary thing. Getting on the plane, swimming toward the boat, taking the path that isn't perfectly mapped out. In a world teetering on the edge of conflict, where tomorrow's map might look different from today's, the message of this film becomes urgent. Not reckless, but urgent. Go see the places that call to you. Have the conversations that matter. Take the photographs, yes, but also put down the camera and just be there. Because as Walter finally learns, beautiful things don't ask for attention. They just exist, quietly, waiting for us to show up and bear witness. The Norwegian fjords don't care if you ever see them. The markets of Marrakech will continue without you. The temples of Kyoto will stand whether you visit or not. But you only get this one life. This one chance to be a person who did things instead of dreamed about doing things. The final image of the film shows us Walter looking at himself on that magazine cover, seeing himself the way Sean saw him. Not as a daydreamer or a nobody, but but as someone who showed up day after day doing work that mattered. Someone who, when the moment called for courage, found it. But he also found something more. He found himself outside that basement, in the world, fully alive. So here's my challenge to you, and to myself. What's your negative 25? What's the thing you're searching for that will require you to leave your comfort zone? What's the journey you keep putting off because it seems too big, too scary, too impractical? Maybe it's time to stop daydreaming and start doing. Not tomorrow, not when things settle down. Now, while you still can. Because in Walter Mitty's most powerful realization, delivered by Sean O'Connell from The Edge of the World, beautiful things don't ask for attention, but they do require presence. They require you to show up, to be brave enough to witness them, to step into the frame of your own extraordinary life. The world is still out there, still beautiful, still waiting. The only question is, will you go? To see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls, draw closer, to find each other and to feel. That is the purpose of life.